I've just had the most amazing day with some really inspirational teachers, learning about how schools in Victoria and around Australia can incorporate growing into the curriculum.
It takes a village, but it is so worth it. There you go.
That is a wrap.
That's a wrap. All right, guys.
Within 24 hours, we had the farm built. Built the farm in a day. That was the catch cry. We charged people to come along and build our farm. And we had 600 people from across Victoria turn up and build this farm in 24 hours.
Whoa!
Over my 40 years in education, this is one of the proudest things that I reflect on.
Dirt under the nails is exactly what we're talking about.
My name is Johannesen, and I'm the principal of Bellarine Secondary College, which is the only public school here on the Bellarine Peninsula, just outside Geelong.
You see all these little seeds that get blown into, and there's Jamie Oliver.
Today's event has been put together by the Victorian Schools Garden Program. They are an amazing organisation that provides grants to schools to get programs like this up and running.
I met the co-founders of Farm My School, Ben and James, 3 years ago.
My name's James McLennan. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Farm My School.
And they mentioned their vision for a farm in the school that feeds the school and its community. They took one look at this land, and we were fortunate enough that they proposed that they form a partnership with us, Farm My School.
What sort of benefit do students get out of this?
How long have we got? A program like this is so beneficial for students. I mean, it's about student education. It relates to the whole curriculum. Every single year level, we can relate it into the Victorian curriculum.
You know, dare I say, we have this duty of care to engage young people in their learning and to engage them actively in their learning, and then that sort of responsibility to ensure that they are learning.
Ordinary teachers who are teaching maths, English, STEM, environmental studies, horticulture, everything. It can all come back to some of the things that are being done here.
It makes all of the curriculum just so much more engaging for kids. Like it's you've got something concrete that they can see.
To think that a handful of healthy soil has more living things in it than there are human beings on the planet, we can quickly, start to realise the importance of it.
So my name's Amber Spicer. I'm a teacher at the school. I've been here since 2007. The value for us, it's the growth, the engagement with the community, the self-awareness that the kids get, the confidence that the kids build in themselves. We could not benefit more in regards to our kids' mental health, our kids' engagement with curriculum than putting this in this space.
A partnership was formed with Bellarine Landcare. They share our site with us, and we've enjoyed a fabulous relationship with Landcare now for, I want to say 30 years, which sees our students learning alongside Landcare employees and volunteers.
We are open 3 days a week, and we have around 40 volunteers.
So they're propagating natives, they're learning about natives, but they're also that intergenerational relationships that develop are so powerful.
We have 3 fridges of native seeds. Volunteers collect seed and we hang them up here to dry, and then they get cleaned.
You can only imagine where those conversations go in terms of the sharing of experiences and the learning that comes from that.
So yeah, these are all the different species that we've got, and I absolutely love seeds, so you better not get me started on talking about seeds.
So they're propagating natives, they're learning about natives, but they're also that intergenerational relationships that develop are so powerful.
This is wallaby grass seed collected at the Drysdale landfill. There's fantastical amounts of wallaby grass seed here. It's just a little bit overwhelming. It's one of the most resilient native grasses actually, and in fact, probably when all the other grasses have been cleared or disappeared, you'll probably get some wallaby grass. Yeah, it's really tough. Yeah, all the grasses are really important.
You can only imagine where those conversations go in terms of the sharing of experiences and the learning that comes from that.
We normally have our propagation happening with our veggies. So we've started growing for other primary schools around the area. So our kids are constantly on rotation in regards to, making sure that we have enough stock to give away to those primary schools to increase their yield. We usually have 3 or 4 cages going at any one time. And it's a fantastic way for the students to understand that different propagation techniques, watching them grow, then making sure that they're ready to go out into other schools and helping other schools with the knowledge that they've got. Being able to work with land.
The days of us being constricted to classrooms, I would like to think have passed. And the challenge remains for all of us to be flexible and creative in terms of how we engage our young people in their learning.
We're so used to, as teachers, thinking that curriculum means that it has to be within four walls and we have to be able to measure that. We work with our kids every day. They are excited about what they're doing, what they're learning. They are just more grounded in themselves. It's the baseline of what we do.
How easily can teachers incorporate these sorts of spaces into all the traditional curriculum subjects?
Yeah, very easily. And there's so many ways. In fact, Victorian curriculum is heavily embedded in learning around sustainability. And so our challenge to our teachers currently is to find ways. Certainly teachers are busy and a curriculum invariably is in place. When we give them the space and the time to allow their creative solutions to come to the surface, they find so many ways to connect the curriculum. So art is students building scarecrows, whether it's out here doing still life drawing or landscapes. There's so many opportunities like that.
We've got agriculture, we've got horticulture from year 9 all the way through to 12.
Our Indonesian classes, so our languages other than English, they've spent time understanding the Indonesian names for these foods, these plants. Our technology classes have created and built vegetable boxes as well as signs.
For humanities, our kids, our year 9s, doing food and biomes, so food security and biomes. We have it here.
English have written creative stories. Our music department have written songs about farmers and about vegetables and about healthy eating. It's really only limited by imagination.
And it's wellbeing, it is mindfulness, it is mental health, it's all of the above. So there's so many benefits for students, but also for teachers.
It can be hard. It can be hard in the context of everything else, but I think it goes back to the importance you place on it and the opportunity that it brings, and the power of taking them simply outside and surrounding them in nature and by nature is really powerful.
And I walk in with Millie, and one of the blokes who'd made this from watching Gardening Australia just like stopped dead in his tracks as Millie walks in. He's like, "G'day."
Currently the kids have about 30 free-range chickens. If you're looking to introduce them into your school, Highline chooks are amazing. So whether we buy them from Belbray or Ballarat chooks, they're just a really calm-natured bird. So we find that they work really well with our students. We've got about 30 in this space at the moment, but again, we have all that space out there for them to free range. All these sheep here stay here though. 2 of those Suffolk sheep are about 7. Socks came to us with Rosie Goat from Bowen Heads Primary School, and the rest have just come in drips and drabs.
Fundamental to the vision around Farm My School is that the farm itself becomes financially sustainable. So the produce from the farm is sold commercially. There are restaurants both on the Peninsula and in Geelong who buy produce. It's
very easy to look at all of this and feel completely overwhelmed. This is not what the average Joe can do by themselves. This is not what any old teacher can do by themselves. This takes a community and a lot of space. But here is what I think everyone needs to know. You don't have to start with a whole system. You don't have to start with perfection. You don't have to start with a farm. You can start with a pot or even a tiny little seed raising tray.
What you receive, I think it far outweighs what you put into it. We sell eggs to teachers, for example, and I bought half a dozen eggs last week. The scale just changes, and so therefore what you'd be hoping maybe to earn from your garden, the need to earn from the garden would shift with the size of the garden.
Now we're talking about a huge space here with an incredible farm, and most schools aren't going to have this amount of space. You do not need to have this amount of space to get started. All you need is a pot and some soil.
There are lots of us who are not experts here. We've all come from different levels of understanding around horticulture and agriculture. There is a space where the kids have completely botched their veggie garden, but they don't mind because now they've utilised it. They've figured out what they did wrong, and now they're letting chickens in to dig it all up. It's about the journey.
To anyone who says I can't grow things, what that means is that you just haven't had success yet. Because once you have your first little taste of success, I can promise you, it just gets better from there.
Yeah, we don't have the opportunity as adults to learn as much as what we would have when we were kids. This is a perfect opportunity. It's all a learning curve, the same way it is for the kids. You can learn as you go. Just have the idea and then just make it work from there, and utilize all of these beautiful people around you with the same, the same idea, the same purpose.
Don't wait for the perfect setup to get started. Just get started with where you are. Two of the most important ingredients are free. Sun, you do need sun, and water, free-ish. Soil is something that can be free in 6 months' time. So if you want to do something like this on a smaller scale, and you are just not confident about getting a single dollar from anyone, start composting today. 6 months is what it takes for you to have beautiful compost that you can use on a garden or in a pot or anywhere, and that can turn virtually any soil into soil that's ready to grow. You can start growing things from seed, even if you don't have anywhere to plant them. If you've got a class and if you've got kids in a classroom, just start with the little tube stock pots. I've got heaps of them. If anyone needs them, let me know. I can drop them off within Victoria or mail them to you if required. Just start with some of that and some good quality seed raising mix. Again, I'll bring some to you if you need it. Drop me a message. I'll leave you my email address and let me know. I'll get it to you. Because even if you don't have anywhere to put them, once those seeds have sprouted and you've watched them grow with your class, they can take them home and then continue the journey at home. And here's the thing, once you've seen something growing, once you've worked out that you can grow from seed, you'll realize you can do all the rest of it too. You just gotta work out where to start.